In today's video, I'm going to be telling you if Bitcoin is going to be bouncing off this level or not. So stay tuned because today we've got an absolute banger of price action and basically what to be looking out for in the coming next few days and even very, very soon. Essentially going to be getting the trade setups I'm looking at and how I'm looking at this market going forward. So if we go back to the log of what I've been documenting, we've seen that we've hit a very, very key point. If we scroll all the way up here, this point was actually, let me just drag this over here so we can have a clear picture. This section in the chart was specifically a very, very key point, which was the volume weighted average from the anchored VWAP. And you also had a nice fair value gap zone along with the liquidity of the upper channel too. Okay. So since then, I was looking at that as a zone. A few trades were taken in that zone. Okay. The order flow was suggesting that we've also had a lot of longs enter the market. So all it would take is a little push down and we would cause the cascade to form in the market. So we know that's already taken place. And yeah, we've since absolutely dropped. And I'll show you exactly what that looks like now. So that was where we were looking at the chart, specifically right up here. And now since then, we've dropped about 8%. Okay, so the question is, are we going to bounce off this level we're at right now? Or are we going to hit this lower target, which I think in my eyes has stronger levels of support and confidence? Okay. Now these are scalp trades. Okay. Now if we're looking at the broader swing trades, I'll get into that in a second and the levels I'm looking at, because there's also a pretty big macro level which I want to talk about, which I think would be very, very key for loading up with spot positions. Okay. Now before we do that, let's get into essentially how this local price action region is looking. Okay. So if we just look at essentially what took place, we haven't even taken out this low with this span back over here. We're just essentially trading down like so. And I think what's very important is to check the order flow and the structure here. So if we go here, we can see it. Right now we've tapped into the point of control of this entire range, this little downtrend channel. Now, I think one of the key things here is specifically going to be the order flow for this level. And what that looks like to me is rather neutral. There's a slight bullish divergence, but I would say it's rather neutral in this current moment. So the context behind this would be CVD has made some lower lows. The open interest has made a little bit higher highs. Okay. So it's positive shorts entering the market. Yeah, price has held up reasonably well. So if you look at that spanning back from there to there, it's rather equilibrium. Now, the thing is, this isn't that big of a level. Okay. So that's why it's not very much that significant. So that's why I even documented here. Personally, I wouldn't take any trades here. Very mixed signals. I'll either wait for lower or take a scalp short if we hit the upper target of liquidity. Okay. Now that upper target of liquidity is specifically this level right here. That's coming in at around $69, $68-ish thousand. Actually, it's probably around 68,500. So that's putting us approximately 68,500 just above this high right here. Okay. So if we look at that in a volume, volume profile, that would be spanning above these highs and this, swooping this level right here, and then rejecting back down. So that's going to be a level I'm looking at to take a little scalp short, which would be essentially this box up here. If we get there and we find resistance, that's a good zone to be taking a short on your local timeframes. Okay. That's what I'm looking at. Now, regarding the level we were looking at in the previous video, which I did, which was, I think I said this level was the support level we're looking at. There were scalper trades to take in here. These are 1% moves. That's also 1% move. But I was not awake for that. I didn't take any trades there. But there were trades to be taken in there. Anything more than 1%, I would class that as a valid scalp position, because even throughout this entire downtrend, I made a fair bit of money down there, okay? So you can definitely make money in these choppy price actions. So to the upside, we're specifically looking at this 68,500 level. And then if we go even further, we could probably highlight some very, very key points, which would align with a few things. So if we go put the VWAP there, we can see that's probably going to span lower to this band. So it's not a high confluence zone. You've got liquidity resting above these highs, but I don't think it's worthwhile looking at that right now. So there's liquidity into this zone, which could be a level 2. But let's just look at the immediate short term at this current perspective, and then we'll look at the swing trades for the longs. Okay. So that's where I'm going to be looking at for the shorts. If we just bounce through that, which would essentially mean this, then there's no trade. But if we find that we get the lower high and the peak and trough, then yeah, go for it. Now, one thing I'm looking at for the scalp long is essentially the flush down to this low. So the 3 drives pattern, 1, 2, 3. And this point should offer a nice little bounce, okay? Reason being is we've got liquidity into a entire range point of control plus the golden Fibonacci zone, which is the 618, which is this zone right here. So 66,900. And I think that ties up pretty nicely with this coming in at 66,900, which flushes this section out. So all we've got left would just be majority of that liquidity is gone. And now we would probably see a lot of people short into this low. So people are faked out going long here. And then like, nah, this is going lower. They'll place shorts in here. Price rebounds, traps them. Then you have the head and shoulders pattern. And then you go like something like this. And then it goes up. So that would be the expectation. That's what I'm looking at. Right, sorry, let me rephrase. That's not the, rather than expectation, this is a level to be looking at when price gets there. Then you can determine if you take a trade based off that. So that's when you start opening order flow and you can look at how the liquidity data is panning out, how this is looking, etc. So we can see if there's shorts entering or if longs capitulating, okay? So that's that. Other than that, we need to highlight the very, 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 very key level of, let me move that over here so we can get a, move that. Yep. Just so you guys can see what I'm looking at locally. So yeah, within these bands, boom, boom. Okay, those are the scalp trade opportunities that are on the horizon. By the way, they could be flushed out pretty quickly, but you gotta be on the lookout. So regarding the downside, I'm looking specifically at around this level here for a nice, very nice scalp trade, a very nice swing trade. So this entire box, it's a $4,000 region. Anything in here, I'm gonna be looking to scoop up real big. So I'm gonna be going, honestly, probably full porting everything at this point. We take out these lows, probably fake out a little bit, capitulate, and then that look to me is gonna be very, very nice for a very, very good trade. So that's gonna be the swing trade. And then we'll look for the upside later if we even get to the upside, because we've also hit the VWAP, which is up here. So my stance would be that there's a high likelihood we're going to be heading down here if I have to pick. So we've hit that. We're already back into the fixed range. So, you know, let's say we do bounce here and we go all the way up here, but then there's a high likelihood we do reject back down into the range and end up floating away down here. That would be what I'm looking at. Now, whether that happens or not, it doesn't matter, because when we get to the levels, that's I determine if I take a trade then, and that's how I make money. Whether my squiggly line is correct and how it pans out, it doesn't matter, because all that matters is if we get here, what do I do? If we get here, what do I do? And if we get here, what do I do? Because that's how you make money. At the end of the day, when you press the buy button or the sell button or the short button, that's when you make money, right? Or you lose money. So really, it doesn't matter how the price got there. It just matters like what you do in the trade, if you're going to take it or not. So yeah, this right here isn't a very good trade to be taking, because we're also right on the point of control. So unless we dip down into this zone where there's confluence, by the way, there's 2 point of controls, one here and one here. The reason this one's better on the downside, if we go in the 30-minute chart, was it the 30-minute or maybe the 15, or maybe the 4-hour? Who knows? Either way, there's a zone of very nice volume right there. Okay. I just say it's good because it's got this low and this low, and then the golden zone. You could technically say this is a golden zone too, up here. But even still then, it's still the undercut. So no matter which bottom you take, it's still the undercut. So the ultimate scalp trade for this specific long would be to take out the lows. This low right here into here. That would be the best situation. And then obviously the short trade could be the push up here, and then you take that, okay? That doesn't mean it's gonna happen. I'm just highlighting to you what I'm expecting, what I'm looking at specifically, okay? All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will update you more things in here later on. What I would advocate everyone do is go to the channel, hit subscribe, put the post notifications on so you're getting the updates very, very quickly, so you're equipped with the information you need to know. And also go to the channel. If you want to trade, go sign up the links, Trade With Me, Bybit, and Weeks. Links are in the description below. That helps support the channel and helps the channel grow, okay? Without further ado, I'll catch you guys next time. And And yeah, that's all I want to say. Tomorrow, I will be updating you on the next thing that we're looking at in the price action. For now, have a great day and see you later.